It is very hard to learn from the failures that we hide or ignore. We usually have the tendency to cover up our mistakes, avoid failures, especially when we knew we are going to be penalized or punished for what we did. It is a common behavior to escape from punishment, right? But this is one of the reasons why we don't learn, why a mistake is repeated over and over again, and this could possibly lead to a disastrous event. Firstly, we must understand that everybody makes mistakes at some point, and we have two choices: to admit our mistake and learn from it, or to cover it up and hope nobody would ever know. But when we are presented with choice between admitting our mistake or protecting our self-image, the decision becomes very easy, right? Our fear and defensive habits always told us to avoid admitting our failure because it can be highly unpleasant, but that just makes it much harder to learn from failure and mistake. So if you are a leader, you need to create a blameless culture. And when I say leader, it is not just at your work, but also with your family. It is better to detect a smoke rather than fighting fire, right? Before we dive deeper into blameless culture, I thought it could be good if we can understand why mistakes and errors can happen in the first place. First, inattention. You might think that if people did not put enough attention in their work, they should be blamed straight off the face whenever things go wrong. But remember, tiredness could also lead to inattention, where the manager asks the team to work overtime every single day over the past month, or the team has been working outstation and away from their family for many months. So instead of the worker who lost focus, maybe the manager is the one who should be blamed. Next, neglect. We tend to pay lesser attention on the tasks that we are familiar with. We take things for granted. If we can get past last time, then next time should be no different. There are several times where a worker forgot to turn off the power switch before he left the office. For many years, nothing happened whenever he overlooked it. But one day, the office caught on fire because of the power switch. Then we have overconfidence. We are generally very bad at estimating how good we are. We think we know more than what we actually know. So we take things for granted until mistakes wake us up. Lastly, we have assumption. It is like, I've seen this before. This is how we do it all the time. Assumptions are like taken for granted beliefs that feel like facts. We assume that things will just happen as we plan, but we all know that there's no guarantee that things will turn out the same every single time, right? Now, with a little understanding on how human factors come into play, where we should not simply blame someone whenever bad things happen. Instead, we should create a blameless culture to deal with all the errors and mistakes. Let's start with workplace. If you play a leader role, you have to tell your team to report and speak up quickly whenever they discover problems and mistakes. But this comes with a promise that they will not be penalized. It is like you are sending a message to your team that we understand that things will go wrong and we want to hear from you quickly so that we can solve problems and prevent harm. However, this does not promise if further investigation found that they disregard the standards, safety rules, or maybe they're involved with any unethical or illegal conduct. Understandable, right? Leaders should always take full responsibility to support their team whenever things go wrong, instead of pinpointing or blaming, especially when we are discovering something new or doing something for the first time where we are not sure how it will turn out eventually. But we have to do it with minimum cost, where the failure will not wipe us out entirely. When you know you are going to be penalized, you are less likely to speak up, right? That is human nature. But for a team or an organization, a mistake to another will slowly pile up and lead to a bigger problem without noticing. When people don't speak, many mistakes remain unknown, and we will not be able to create a system to further improve the situation and to ensure we can eliminate the problem and not to repeat next time. As for family, if you are a parent, you need to make sure that the lines of communication are always open. You need to always be ready to listen to your kids even when they are about to tell you that they made a mistake. Now, I must declare I'm a father to no one. I have no kids yet, and I know it is easier said than done, but it is definitely great to create a blameless culture within your family so that everybody can speak up, catch the mistake, and correct the problem together. You need to make them comfortable to speak up and admit their mistake. Don't blame and hit them when your kids play with fire or knife. Instead, educate them what to do. This might sound like a normal thing to do, but you see, when you are very tired, when you are under great pressure, it is very hard for you to do it because you need to manage your own emotion at the same time. It is like seeing your son paint all over the wall when you come back from a tiring day at work. It is Extremely important for us to understand that only by discovering errors and mistakes can they be addressed and prevented. It is not about who did it or why people make mistakes. It is about what we can do to prevent it in the future and how we can create a system to deal with it. This video is made possible by this book right here, The Right Kind of Wrong by Amy Emerson. And just as the author mentioned, to err is human. We need to create a space where everybody can speak up freely, catching and solving the problems together. Alright, that's it for this video. Hit the like button if you think this video is helpful, share to your friends and family, and subscribe for more of my future video. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.